why don't you, can you tell us a little bit about Sharing is Caring and what's it about? This song is fire.
Thank you.
It makes me think of like all those classic like Mario, Usher.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe that, I'm definitely trying to go for now. And just bring that feeling back, like with a little modern twist to it. But the song, honestly, I was just coming from a place of like, I feel like it's a situation that a lot of people find themselves in with a little dramatic flair. It's just a guy, you talking to a girl, but she got a man, and you really feeling her, and you don't want to let that go. And just with the dramatic side of it, like you're gonna have to share. He gonna have to share you because I'm not letting you go. So it just revolves around that scenario, and just bringing that old school flavor back. Meeting the modern sound. So yeah.
So how do you feel about how like social media and the way relationships start now versus back in the day, and how that influences the song and the lyrics? Because back in the day you couldn't be on the phone with somebody all day. It was not realistic. You had to wait.
That's a
so
fact. That's a fact.
What do you think? How did that affect like the content of all your music really?
I feel like it affects the content because you have to, especially with the sound that I'm trying to recreate and bring back to the forefront. I can't be singing about like the old crooning, talking about I want to call you, but I can't call in a line right now because certain like we got cell phones now and all this other stuff. So it's really just taking like the modern situations of like saying like, I could sing about I met you on Instagram, you slid in my DMs, and throw it over like a tank beat or something, you know what I mean? And just make it feel, the lyrics is modern that people can relate to still, but it'll give that nostalgic feel of like, it's something familiar, something that even to some people might be new because there's a whole new generation of kids out now that don't necessarily know this sound. So it's really something that I'm trying to blend naturally. So the content of the music is, you're gonna see that it's still relative to what's going on now in like relationships and just the times that we're in.
And what do you think about some of the music that women have been putting out? So obviously, Munch is a big song. Megan Thee Stallion is kind of always like, kind of low key shitting on men a little bit. So I feel like that men are starting to come out talking about their feelings, and women are starting to come out talking about how they don't have feelings.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
It's like the tables have turned. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not mad at it. Like the women, they're not one faceted. They have the sides where they're in their bag, the sides where they feeling like they that boss, So they can, I think it's dope that, they can speak freely and just really express themselves in whatever manner, and it's like received genuinely. And, the men's kind of like, we in our bags now, we trying to bring the feeling to the music and everything, because there's different facets to like, even with like the R&B side of things, like, you got the R&B music where you're singing about like you trying to get the girl, you're in love, but then there's like the sad boy side of things, and there's the even you talking your stuff like side of R&B. So it's like, it's cool, and I love it that like the women, they doing all that too, like especially like Summer Walker, like Ari Lennox, like all of them I love. They running stuff right now, and like, and with the female rap, like who's like, I like what's that song? That Glorilla song?
Tomorrow? Or FNF? Or
yeah,
Blessed?
Yeah. All of them fire, I'm not gonna lie. So, it's cool. Like, I bump all that. So, yeah, I'm jacking that.
And what do you feel like is gonna stand out about this song? Is there a certain part of the song or the lyrics that you really like that's like caption worthy, or like, do you feel a certain part people are gonna gravitate to once it drops?
I feel like the ending. Just like, and that's my man's Avion. Shouts out to him. And he's coming from the perspective of the guy, the boyfriend that like has to share his girl with me. Like, So I feel like that part is gonna like, you know, and the emotion that he gave in it, I feel like that's gonna grab people's attention. Lyrics wise, like just sharing is caring. Like that, people like, what you mean? Like that could come off, you know, kind of toxic if you think about it. Yeah. But I don't even like throwing the word toxic because I feel like it's relationship situations that people do go through. So just the topic, I feel like people might gravitate towards, and I hope like the melodies, like, you know, just the singing itself. I feel like there might be some captions in there, I don't know, like that people might take and might run with, whatever, but just for a certain part off the top, I think like that little ending part, yeah.
For sure. And so what do you think just about your influences? Do you feel more influenced by the older sounds, or is there an R&B artist currently that you draw inspiration from?
Well, honestly, I listen like on a daily, like just my regular day to day. I listen to like just old school R&B. Like it just has a different feel to it. Like it's just so much more genuine, I feel. So a lot of the inspiration comes from older artists like Tank. I recently got deep into like a Marcus Houston bag. Like I like his stuff a lot. Like but I'm definitely influenced with like modern day artists too, because obviously I'm not singing like how they used to, like with the, you know, I'm not singing in the rain and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But like definitely like a Ty Dolla $ign, like that's one of my favorite artists. Like just the way that he uses his melodies and just the harmonies and stuff, I really, you know, try to take from certain things from him. Chris Brown's one of my favorite, he's top artists. Like just certain things that, you know, he does sonically and stuff. So it's and Bryson Tiller and Tory Lanez, I'm not gonna lie. Those are the people right there. But like that I take from the modern that I want to fuse with, like say the beat selection of like the past, like the 2000s and things like that. So I try to pick from, you know, certain all around, yeah.
That's dope. And then as far as Tory Lanez, I really like, because if you ever seen footage of him in the studio, he'd be like hanging on the couch upside down, have 80 people in there.
He's going crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
So is there anything special that you did in general and in particular with this song when it comes to like being in the studio, getting creative?
Yeah, so this session, you know, we had a few people in there, and it was definitely a different vibe. Like just seeing the people's reactions to certain things, like maybe a certain note I hit or like certain lyric that I'll throw out there. It definitely gave like a different feeling to the whole recording process. So with this record, that's why we kind of chose this one as like the first single of the upcoming project, because it was just in the creation of it, it was like, okay, it's different from just us, me and Jay, my manager, in the studio, and like, you know, just going in there and knocking it out and boom. This one, it was kind of like, you know, it was definitely a vibe. Like after I finished recording it, we're all in the studio just going crazy, like, you know, just really just vibing, having fun with it. So with this one, it's definitely different. It's definitely a new sound, and like it's something that with that session we felt like, yeah, we caught like something magical. So yeah, but this one is gonna be, I hope it's gonna be nice, like the reception and everything.
And is there anything else you want people to know about this song in particular? Any story behind it or anything?
With this one in particular, sharing is caring. I don't think I've personally had to share my female with anybody. I hope I didn't. But I just hope that, you know, everybody kind of sees where I'm coming from with this record, and that it you know, resonates with some people. Maybe not necessarily like lyric wise, but just the vibe, like just the way that the song is being carried through and just how it's being presented. And yeah, I just hope that, you know, it's received well and that people really enjoy it, enjoy good music, because I feel like this is good music and good music is making a comeback. So yeah, I don't think I shared with anybody. So yeah.